Welcome to linford.co.uk Get Going Guides. This episode is looking at Freeway and using frames in Freeway. Frames are one of those things that come in and out of fashion at various times, and some people say you should use them, some people say you should never use them. Really, it's up to you, and it's up to the particular website that you're developing and what you want to do with it. The advantage of frames is it allows you to have a variety of pages visible on a single browser window, and these can be pages within your site, or they can be pages from other people's sites, so you can link to somebody else's site and still maintain some of your brand identity within it. So rather than clicking on a link to a new page or a new tab in the browser, it will link within your actual interface design. So using it is up to you. It's quite likely in the future that some versions of browsers won't support frames, and some browsers don't support frames at the moment, but you can have a system where it automatically generates an HTML page of the whole frame set if you're using it when people can't view frames, and Freeway does that for you automatically. One thing I would say is when you're developing a frame set at the moment, use HTML code as your preferred option. XHTML works very well in some browsers, but certainly the latest version of Firefox doesn't allow XHTML frame sets within it, although Safari and other browsers do. So when in doubt, I would say stick to HTML4 for this exercise. So we've got a new page in Freeway here. We start off with an untitled page at master page 1, but we don't need that one, so I'm just going to delete that page so we can start with a fresh setup. So what we want to do to access frames is we can go to the window and go down to frames, and up comes this frames window. We can also access it from the page menu, and we go down to frames, and we would just start off by going to new frame set. Both will give the same option. But here, if we click on new, up come these frame sets that we have as standard formats. The main thing is, the most standard one is this one here, which we're going to use, which has a banner across the top and a navigation menu down the right hand side. You could have the banner at the bottom and on the left hand side or on the right hand side. It's up to you. Just choose one which you think is roughly representing the layout that you want to work with, and you can modify it afterwards as well. So we're going to choose this one. It's very much like a table layout, and we just click OK, and up come all the pages that we work with. So the first thing is we've got the one that's selected at the moment, which we see, where we can see this sort of table kind of layout, which is in its default setting, and then we have the 3 pages which are going to appear within that frame set. So we have an upper one, which is up here, where we put everything there, which is there, and we have a left one, which is this one down here, and we have our main one, which is where we're going to put all the content for our pages in there. So the first thing we want to do is to put some content on those pages. So if we just click on the page we want, upper, we can close that off now, and I'm going to change this page size to be 770 across, and I'm now going to insert a graphic banner into this. So same as importing any picture, I'm going to file import, or I'm pushing a Command E on the keyboard, and I'm just going to click on my document to bring it in, which is my standard banner from there. So, and I know that this image is 129 high because I've worked with it before. You can go into Photoshop and check that if you want, or you can just go to item and fit box to content, and it will tell you as well. Now on our upper banner, we've got all this spare page which we don't really need, and I find it just tidy just to clear that off, so we keep the page size exactly the same size as the banner. So I'm going to change that to be 129 as well. Now when we go back to our frame set, which gives our overview, you can see there that our banner has appeared, but it's sort of ranged left, so we've got this sort of extra bit of space there. So what I'm going to do is go into here, and I'm going to align it to be in the center, and I'm going to give it a background color, and I'll give the background color, we'll give it a black color just for this example here. So now when I preview it, the preview, you can see that we've got a black background. This doesn't show the full layout effect, it just shows you what it will roughly be. So now we're going to go on to the left page. So again, I'm going to import some pictures. So these are going to be my buttons. So I'm just going to draw a box and I'm going to import the pictures. So in comes the picture, and I just go to fit box to content, and you can see that the height is 30. Now I've got another 3 buttons to add, so the easiest way is to duplicate it, so that's a Command D, and I want 3 copies at 30 pixels high, so I just go down, and then I can just click on each individual button and import a different picture to it. Now these could have rollovers, they can have all sorts of other effects on them. It's up to you what you do, but I'm just going to keep to a standard single button image just to make it faster at this point. You can see the rollover tutorial for it as well. Now here we can see that our button is 100 pixels wide, so again I'm going to change the page size to be a width of 100, and I'm going to keep this as a white background for here. So if we go to the frame set, we can see what it looks like here. So let's have a look at it in the browser. So we're going to look at it in Firefox. Just ignore that message because it will work. And here you can see that we've got the banner centered with black background and our buttons down here as well. Now we've got this border showing at the moment. That helps me show you where the frame sets are, but we can remove those very simply. We just click on the frames, and on the inspector you just show borders and turn that off. You can also change the size of the borders with the border width if you want. Now because I'm not seeing all the top banner at the moment, because I just need to manually change this border, I just need to move it down until it's where I want it to be, so I get rid of any excess border at that point. So like so. So we should end up with our perfect size. So let's view it again now, and we should see no border, and it should be a lot cleaner looking design from there. So that's lovely. So what we want to do now is to add some content into our main page. So this is our main page here. So what I tend to do is think about what is the page size that I want this to be. So a bit of maths. I know the width of the buttons is 100, so, and I want the width to be 170 as a standard, so I need the page of this to be 670 there. And I'm just going to put some text into there as an HTML text, some standard welcome text that I have on other exercises. So when I view it again, there we are. Now I can work in here, so I can rearrange it so that it looks nice and welcoming there. So when we preview it again, we'll have all the pages showing of where we are. So that's marvellous. So that's what we want. We can play around and tweak it as we want later on, but that's what I want at the moment. So just close all those off for me. Now to make some interaction, we need a home button, so I'm going to make button 1 to be a home button. So I'm just going to change that and tell it I want it to link back to Untitled 3, which is the frame set. So to avoid confusion, I'm just going to name this frame set so we know where we are, and the untitled are the other pages. Button 2, we want to link to another page, so the best way of doing that is if I go to the hyperlink command, which is a command K, and I want to go to an external site, and I want it to be an HTTP. So I'm going to go to www.softpress.com, and I want to tell it the target that I want it to appear in. So which of the windows do I want it to appear in? So we have our standard parent that we want to replace the original page, we want it to appear on top to make a new tab, or we want a new blank page or to appear within itself, but we also have the windows that we want it to appear in. So I want to change the main content there, so we'll click OK, and again button 3, I'm just going to make another external connection here, and I'm going to go to my website there and choose the target for the main, and we'll go there. So if we go back to our preview, comes, and if I push button 2, up will come SoftPress's website within my main interaction system. Notice that it has scroll bars, so you can see you can scroll down the page vertically and horizontal, because their page is obviously bigger, and that's a disadvantage to this, is that it does come up with their full page. And if I go to button 3, it will link to my home page as well, so you can click within it. Button 4 I haven't got a link, but if I go back to button 1, I've got the target wrong on that, so because it's coming up with it within there, so I'll go back to the left, click on button 1, and I want it to go to Frameset, but what I didn't do is tell it what target I want it. So I go back to there, choose main, and then OK. So remember, the targets are very important when working with Framesets. So we'll preview it again. Again, we go to SoftPress's website, we go to my website, and now I should have the target right, and it should go straight back. But what I've got here is I've told it to go to the whole frame set, so it's made another frame set within a frame set. So we go back and we can change it again. So you can be quite creative in what you want to do with this. So what I want is it not to be the frame set, I want it to be the main page. And now we should be OK to preview it all again. And this time it should work. So just to show how the target's so important and the flexibility that you can link in other people's frame sets as well. And now we go back and it just changes the content appropriately from that by pushing the buttons. So that's Framesets. It takes a little bit of playing around with for you to get it right, but it's a very useful feature if you want to link to external sites within your system. So, well, thank you for coming to chrislinford.co.uk. You can also find me on YouTube and iTunes, and I will see you again for another episode.